Hey, Team Pointy Star Heyo here, and we're going to be talking about this pendulum scrap thing that's been going around. Pendulum Scraps is this idea where they take the new Pendulum Summoning, as it sounds, and they summon a bunch of scraps. Scrap monsters need other monsters on the field that they can destroy for their effects, and when they do die, they get other stuff like that. And it works amazingly with the Scrap Dragon. That is the destroy a card on your side field, destroy their card, and it's really good. It also helps make cards like Call the Haunted and Phoenix Chain more life, so you can destroy dead versions of those to destroy your opponent's cards, which in the end is all fine and dandy. But when you actually get down to it, you got to think about the requirements for Pendulum Summoning. Now, this is good because it summons a bunch of monsters on the field, but Pendulum Summoning does something that few things can do successfully without having issues. With Madolche's having their card like Madolche Palooza, the problem with using the card is when they use it, all the cards from their hand go to the field. Now, having that many monsters does generate huge advantage, but if you get stuck in the position where the opponent is able to counter you in any way, shape, or form, you suddenly have no cards in your hand and your field is completely empty. Now, when you take this into account, Pendulum Scraps is just, what it does is it takes all these monsters that you're summoning from your hand, you spam your field with a bunch of monsters, and then you can do stuff like blowing up different cards to get different other effects off that help you so much, but in the end, doing all of these things really does not help you because you have no hand advantage to if they can stop you. If you summon all the cards, and they use some card like, let's just say Torrential or something, blowing up everything, you suddenly no longer have anything at all. Your hand is completely empty. You have a bunch of cards on like that go straight to the grave, and you can get some effects off and some things like that. But in the end, it just losing that big of a huge hand advantage without cards that let you add the hand advantage back to your hand is just very, very negative, very bad. I'm not like the deck itself can work. It just needs to have more kind of searching aspects, using different cards to help keep their hand presence. Gadgets can, when they're all summoned, get the 3 cards back. So you summon 3, you get 3 back, so you still have the same amount of cards in your hand. Or when you're using something like Madolche's, you can summon 2, then normal summon the Mageline and use your ticket for plus, and so that way you make up for the difference that you're making from the Pendulum summons. Now, decks like Scraps, or maybe 6 Samurais and stuff, though they could utilize the fact that, boom, they now have a bunch of cards on the field, the fact that they're not getting the cards back to their hand after all of this is said and done, and that the opponent can stop some of the key parts in your little combo, makes this a very, very fragile thing. It's an okay idea for maybe 1 or 2 people to try, but if it's getting to the point where a bunch of people are trying to use it just because they think it's so broken, as they say, it takes away from the game. And cards like this, when they're not even that good, sometimes there just needs to be people who explain the problems with these things. The problems with this is you don't generate back your advantage. You can destroy both like your opponent's cards and stuff and get other kinds of plus, but that's assuming things don't get stopped. If they do not get stopped, then you're in an okay position, but once again you're left with a bunch of fragile monsters, a problem Samurais sort of have. Samurais can pull out the Nat Beast and the Barkion to help protect them, but if they are only left with the 1 Shien or something, they have issues trying to combat some of this stuff. That's my opinions and pretty much what I have learned and studied about with the scrap decks. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. If you really enjoyed it, tell me what you liked about it. If you want to see something else, tell me below. If you don't like this little video, tell me what you didn't like about it. Tell me if there's something else you'd like to hear about. And have a wonderful day. Yeah.